Hey guys, this is Azrael doing a commentary video for Napoleon Total War Online. In this battle, we're fighting on Grassy Flatlands in a 2v2. I'm fighting as Great Britain, and my ally is fighting as Prussia. Once again, I'm fighting with my good friend from the Guardians of Avalon, Solace. This is actually the same exact armies that we had for my last commentary. I've got a couple different units of cavalry, though, because I notice your cavalry plays a very intricate role with your battle. So as you can see here, I have a unit of the 88th Foot Connaught Rangers, the Black Watch. Got to give them a zoom in. They deserve a zoom in. Unit of these Coldstream Guards. 4 units of Lightfoot, as always. And unit of Riflemen for that extra long range punch that you need, along with, this time, heavy cavalry. I have 2 units of Dragoons and some of the 15th Hussars. So I have some better cavalry this time, which is going to provide that little punch here and there that you do need to be able to push the enemy back. Right now what I'm doing is a strategy I like to employ every now and again, with the light infantry in the middle, supported by more line infantry than not, and on the sides I have my light infantry, which are going to be used with the intention of collapsing the flanks and thus making the enemy rout much quicker than they normally would. Now my ally, I want to focus on what he's doing quickly. As you can see, on one flank he has all line infantry. Tactic he uses often, which is good. He actually likes to skirmish with them. So what he'll do is he'll get you within range. He'll open up fire on you with his musketeers, or whatever nation he's using at the time, their line infantry. And once he opens up fire on you, he'll pull back, make you keep coming towards him, and then he'll have another unit there firing at you, pulling back, firing, and then eventually your men are down to 30 from 120, and you don't even know what happened. So it's good. What we're trying to do right now is, at the beginning of the battle, we agreed that the gap between the French army and the Spanish army was a little too large for us to ignore, so we're going to try to actually split them in the middle. I don't remember exactly how well that works out, but nonetheless, might as well give it a shot. Other than that, what we have is his light infantry out in the front. He does like his light infantry in the middle. That's always what happens with his light infantry. He holds the middle with them, maybe with some foot guards behind, obviously for the morale support, and then on his flanks he prefers the infantry. He's really good at collapsing the flanks quickly. I will give him that. That's his one, I would say, skill as far as Total War is concerned. He is gifted at collapsing the flanks. I mean, it's whatever you want to do, though, if you're wondering. So if you're using light infantry on the flanks and he's using regular infantry on the flanks, what do you think's better? Depending on what you're more comfortable with, really. I prefer to hit the enemy from farther, and then when they get mad at me for killing their troops and they act irrationally, they come forward with more troops. And with that said, they actually will get shot down by my infantry that I just push up really quick after I pull my light infantry back. So if it works out all correctly, or he'll just put up his light infantry and we'll get into a light infantry skirmish. But usually people are dumb and they push up they'll push up their regular infantry to get slaughtered by my infantry. Now what I'm seeing here is, so far it's going to be a standoff. I believe Spain is someone that Solace knows, so they have a pretty good idea of their fighting styles. And initially, the way that they're setting up, it might be quite a stalemate. So depending on which action happens first, which hopefully I believe it's my side, because my guy's camping. You can see that clearer than the day. He is camping. He does have some good infantry, though. He's got the Old Guard, Dutch Grenadiers, which are absolutely disgusting. I love the Dutch Grenadiers. What else does he have? Line infantry. 18th Regiment d'Infanterie de Ligne, the Brave. I cannot speak French, so for all of you criticizing my French skills at the moment, I'm saddened, but at the same time, I apologize if I have offended anyone with my lack of French knowledge. But what's concerning me on my side, he's got some Howies. Well, short for howitzers. Now, what they do is they have 350 range. No, that's Empire Total War. I believe they have 400 range in this. They pack a punch. Howitzers in Napoleon Total War have improved tenfold from what they were in Empire. They have explosive shell and also canister shot. So if you get close to them, they'll blow you up from long range, and they'll also hit you with some canister shot, which will tear your men up. Now, historically, I love talking about canister shot. It's ingenious. Napoleon perfected it. I mean, it had been around for a while. But what they would do is they would pack little tiny musket balls or any sort of shrapnel that they could get into a can. They would load the canister. That's where it gets the name. They'd load the canister into the cannon, pack it down like a normal cannonball, and then when a unit got within range, they would light it. And once it was lit, the shrapnel from inside of that canister would be spread out so far and in so many different directions, anyone within range of that would just be cut down, and it was horrendous. You could see 30, 40 people dead with one round of canister, depending on how they were formed. It would just rip through everything in its path, and that's why it was so effective with melee charges. A lot of the time during this period, what people would do is, because muskets were so hard to reload, is they would shoot once, one salvo, and then they would charge the infantry in there to clean up the rest. And Napoleon used that to his advantage. He would say, alright, you want to charge, and then boom, canister shot. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So now, since Spain's ally is refusing to move up, I'm going to give my ally Solace some light infantry support on the side. If you coordinate as a team, it makes your job so much easier, rather than having to scramble here and there trying to figure out what's going on. Alrighty. Trying to think of something tactically sound that I can tell you guys that you'd be interested to hear, at least. Mostly what we're doing right now is camping. I hate to say that, but there's not much room for quarter here. Spain's camping, Prussia's camping, France was camping, and now they're kind of moving up a little bit, and I'm camping, and we're just waiting for someone to make a mistake. That's usually what I do, is I wait for an opening before I move, or if I know that I can handle the enemy easily, depending on, you know, if I know them, or depending on their stats, because I pay attention to that as well. Then you can tell, you know, how much experience someone has, and then you decide how you're going to fight your battle. So now what they've actually done, which is good here, is they have met up in the middle. So they have the Fusiliers linked up with the light infantry, which does not give us room to separate their armies now. So rather than being able to divide them right down this line and then flank them from the sides, now we have to deal with one long flank. Or, well, one front. I have a flanking party on this side composed of 2 units of the light infantry. I have a center, which will hold up, hopefully, and then I have another flanking party, which is ready to go. Essentially what it is just one long line with a few gaps in between. If my enemy was experienced enough, he would know that he could, well, separate them most likely. If you look up at the mini-map here, you can see the big gap in this spot and this spot. As opposed to theirs, it's just one solid line. I don't usually use the mini-map too much, but when I do, I don't always look at the mini-map, but when I do, it's glorious. I was not kidding when I said that everyone was just camping. What Spain's trying to do is actually readjust his line to match Solace's. So he has light infantry in the middle with some cavalry and infantry, and then on all the sides he has infantry. So this is a great plan. And here come the Howies. Now, I will say that howitzers look absolutely marvelous in Napoleon Total War as opposed to Empire Total War. the detail that they put behind the effects on the howitzer shots, including, look at that, there's a hole in the ground. That is beautiful. And there's that as well. I think it's cool, but I mean, little things amuse me. So, well, somebody has to make something happen here, so I volunteered to be that guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to force my enemy to move by getting my flanking party ready to go. I'm going to have some units following behind. This is the time where I pull up my reserves, which were the Coldstream Guards and the 42nd Foot, which is the Black Watch. I'm going to be using them according to my need. As the howitzers open up on my ally, I'm going to have to do something to figure out a plan to get France's flank to collapse. Now, as far as units, I have heard multiple times that France's line infantry minus the old guard and those elite units is kind of mediocre. Along with their light infantry, the chasseurs do not match up to, let's say, Prussian fusiliers. The British light infantry is also average in concern with that. Portugal has great light infantry. They're I believe they're cazadores. They have great stats that match up with Prussian fusiliers, rather than, I mean, 45 accuracy compared to 55 accuracy. Anyone would go with 55 accuracy for a few extra coins. So now, like I said, we have to make something happen. What I'm trying to do is actually get my enemy to open up without being able to flank me. So by using the out of bounds, yes, that's cheap, but you have to do what you have to do. I'm going to be able to shoot at my enemy, and this one-on-one matchup is actually going to go good because, like I said, my light foot have better accuracy than the chasseurs. Now, if I can get my foot within range of those chasseurs using this, then I can actually have his flank start to collapse. Now, cavalry, if you can get them to charge into a unit that is not in square, you can take care of them really well. Now, if I charged a unit into that Swiss foot, like, let's say the 15th Hussars, if I charged them into the Swiss foot, then you wouldn't have to worry about them sticking around too long because the square formation does not work all that well. Now, I'm going to move my foot up. I don't know why I didn't pull my guys back, but there's not much you can do. So he charged his lancers into my light foot. They're going to rout. But luckily for me, that distracted his cavalry, so now we're going to trade off. Oh, psych. My 15th Hussars were a distraction. Say goodbye to your light infantry, sir. There goes my dragoons. So we just traded light infantry. That's the good news. My 15th Hussars were not prepared for that square formation, but he also can't handle my Black Watch, so that's the good part about reserves. I should have moved my Coldstream Guard up to attack his Swiss foot there automatically, but like I said, so we're trading light infantry at this point and cavalry. So I one-upped him right there. I kept my unit of foot, my elite infantry. He loses both his units of chasseurs, and he's going to lose his cavalry here as well. I have no problem with that trade at all. Like I said, though, I should have... Oh, there we go. My Coldstream Guards are prepared for that action. I mean, ultimately, I should have been prepared for a cavalry charge right there anyway, but what can you do? Besides mow his lancers down with shots. So his lancers are going to be gone. I lost 30 guys in that charge? No way. That's ridiculous. Whatever. Still beat him. It gave me enough time to charge that unit of 15 Hussars, though. Get him into square formation. Gives my guys time to move up and open up on his Swiss foot. It's all micromanaging. I mean, they were already depleted, so I have no problem sacrificing soldiers every now and again. It's a necessary evil, you know? So my dragoons are doing an excellent job of mowing his Swiss foot down. He's lost almost 40 guys from that single charge. But he's in square now. So unfortunately, so now I had to trade off my cavalry again. That's just obnoxious. So I lost cavalry, light infantry, some, regular infantry, all at the cost of his light infantry, his regular infantry, his cavalry. But it created an opening. That's the important part. And there goes my dragoons. Unfortunately, his brave light infantry are also very good shots. That's just a British graveyard right there. It could have ended up a lot better, I'm thinking, but if I had a little bit more support for my light infantry, now this flank would be collapsing much, much faster. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. But now he's outnumbered. That's the important part. Once you have them reeling backwards, you're good to go. I don't know what we missed over here, but they're fighting pretty well. Hey, my cavalry! Look at that. My dragoons just crushed some fusiliers, it looks like. They're going to crush some more fusiliers, it looks like. Oh, wow. 2 units of cavalry. Going to town. I did play a part in that. That's wonderful. Killing his fusiliers, which opened up my allies' right flank here to flank Spain. So now we're going to collapse them from the sides. And we're going to meet in the middle, just like the World War II, Soviet Union, United States front. We're going to meet in the middle. So now I'm going to do what I can do to mess up my enemy's game plan. Got that unit of Connaught Rangers still, some Fencibles. You always want to keep those in reserve. They do the heavy lifting. Fencibles, very reliable. I mean, I love militia as much as the next guy, but don't take that seriously for all you viewers who are looking for tactical advice, because Fencibles are horrible. Quite literally, I just use them as fillers in case I need more troops. A lot of the time, this is going to sound mean, but they do the dying for me.
Our men are running, sir.
And my dragoons charging in the square formation. They also do the dying for me. Like I said, the general plays a great role. As you can see there, he used his general to inspire his troops to keep on fighting on. Which is horrible for me because now I have to deal with that. You want to talk about generals? When you don't have any cavalry left, the best thing to do is to send your general right in there and take out his light infantry. Last charge. Let's see how this works out. Oh.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
See, what they should have done is they should have routed the first time. That would have been much easier for everyone. And now I can pull my general back. He did his job, which is wonderful. Now, if he keeps pulling his Swiss foot up, though, it's going to give me ample opportunity to mow them down with my combination of elite infantry here. I can't believe my Black Watch took 30 casualties on that first charge from, what was it, 12 Lancers? Ah, man. But hey, the good news is my foot now are helping out Prussia while getting torn up by light infantry, who are also shooting at light infantry. Just one big battle in the middle. Now, Great Britain, you're going to ask probably why I'm using Great Britain again. Their line infantry, the foot, have great accuracy. 50 accuracy, which is a little bit less than elite infantry. 7 melee attack, 10 melee defense, and 7 morale. That is wonderful for line infantry units in this game. I'm not saying to be Great Britain all the time. Try to mix it up a little bit. But it's always good to have a backup plan. Now, when you start off playing Napoleon, just realize your guys are going to be really, really good at dying. You take really heavy casualties when you first start playing this game, and it's terrible. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually just going to charge France's light infantry. I mean, what are they going to do? There's not much they can do besides run. And when they run, that means that they're not firing. And when they're not firing, that means that they're not inflicting casualties. And that means that it's going to ease up my opponent's left flank, which is good for everyone. And all it's going to cost me is 67 units of little men from the foot unit. That's going to ease up my light foot as well. Now, if I could think of something wonderful to do here, maybe take some shots at that young guard and the old guard combo. When you're a young guard, you eventually turn into one of these guys. Now, one of the cool things about the old guard is they were chosen from, obviously, some of the most veteran in Napoleon's army. The largest, most horrifying looking men you could find. A lot like the Potsdam Giants from Prussia. They would just literally be there to scare people. But the difference between Potsdam Giants and the old guard is that the old guard were veteran crack units. I mean, like, they were the shock troops. I love howitzers. So now I'm going to have to readjust because I need to figure out something. France is camping hardcore right now. And Prussia's getting pushed back. Well, not really, actually. Prussia won. Prussia won, which is good for me. So, cool. Now I'm going to have Prussia's help after I help them with my stupendous cavalry charge, as you can see.
Our men are running, sir.
My cavalry charge did the trick. Pushed them back. I inflicted the casualties on his light infantry there. Forced him back. He finally decided to move up, though. That is great, because now it's going to just be a flat-out line infantry battle. I'm going to be able to do what I need to do against the young guard here. We're going to start wavering now. My Coldstream guards are going to tear up his brave line infantry unit. So now that he's been engaged, it's great. Now, if you can use howitzers in combination with infantry fire, you're good to go, because your howitzers will be a negative morale effect. Light infantry, line infantry fire, negative morale effect. It's just overall great. But unfortunately, I still have too many troops for him to work with, and that's going to cost him a lot of lives. So now, since his old guard have ridiculously high accuracy, I'm just going to charge a unit of the foot in there to distract them from firing, which is going to give my guys time to move up, get within range.
Victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
It's little things here and there. I mean, we could have all done better, but there's not much you can do. I decided to charge my general staff in there, though, see what we could do as far as killing his guys go. I took out a unit of his howitzers. I don't think he was expecting that. And his general staff lost a couple. Hopefully my guys get within range before my general dies. He charged his old guard. Nope, he charged his guard
Our
seamen.
men are running, sir.
Oh, Lord. Routed 2 units of my foot. Old guard are ridiculous. Oh, that's the battle. I hope you learned a little bit. Mostly what that was just a joking session for me, but it's always fun to look back and say, hey, I did horrible. Anyway, it was a pretty even match for me and my ally. We both killed 1,200, lost 1,000, but we were against pretty decent total war players, at that. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I hope you tune into my next commentary. Thank you very much.